Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Panchadashodhyayah. This is the 15th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, and the theme of this chapter is the yoga of the Supreme Spirit, that is Brahman. And in the first few shlokas, Bhagavan Sri Krishna explained about that concept of Brahman and samsara, how the creation or samsara evolved out of Brahman, and he gave a very beautiful example of a peepal tree. And the root of the peepal tree is above and all its branches are below. And the adhisthana of this tree is that Brahman, which is the root and which is above, and all the branches are spread below as this samsara or this world of creation. So with a very beautiful example, Bhagavan Sri Krishna explained about the concept of Brahman and samsara, and he continues to explain the same concept only. We will see it from the next shloka, that is shloka 6 in chapter 15 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Na tadbhasayate suryoho na shashanko na pavakaha yadgatva na nivartande tadhama paramam mama. There, na bhasate suryaha. There, the sun does not shine or illumine. Na shashanka, not even the moon. Na pavakaha, not even the fire. It will not have its tejas there. So does it mean that Parandhama, that is, that Brahman is complete darkness or ignorance? No. What it implies is the sun, the moon, and the fire, they get the energy and light from Brahman. So the sun does not shine there because it doesn't have the power there, because the power of the sun is borrowed from Brahman. The power and light of the sun, the Surya, is borrowed from Brahman. The same with the moon. The energy and the light and the cool rays of that moon is borrowed from Brahman. And the same with the fire. Pavaka means fire. The energy, the tejas of the fire is borrowed from Brahman. So there, all this does not shine. Only Brahman shines. And all these shine after that. And in the next line of this shloka, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Yad gatva na nivartande. A person who attains there is no return for him. Tat dhama paramam mama. That supreme abode is my abode. And this shloka is a very famous mantra taken from one or two Upanishads. This concept is said in the Upanishads. In the Kathopanishads, it is said as, the sun does not shine there, nor do the moon or the stars, nor does the lightning, and much less this fire. What to say about this fire? Even the sun and the moon does not shine there, because all these get the power from Brahman. This is said in the Kathopanishad, and in the next Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, and the Svetashvatara Upanishad also, this same concept is repeated. The same idea is repeated. When it shines, everything shines after it. By its light, all these shines. So this concept is repeated in the Upanishads, mantras. So this shloka is a very famous shloka to understand the concept of Brahman. What we think the Surya, the sun or the moon, it has its own energy and own power, but it borrows the power from Brahman. It does not have any individual power. It borrows the power from Brahman. So that's what is meant by this very famous shloka. Actually, it is taken from the Upanishads. Bhagavan Krishna repeats it from the mantra of the Upanishad. The next shloka. Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasashtanindriyani prakritisthani karshati. This shloka, very clearly explains the nature of the Jiva, that is the embodied soul or the individual soul. Mame Vamsha Jiva Bhutaha Saradhanaha. My Amsha is this Jiva or the being in this Jiva Loha. The Jiva Lohe Jiva Bhuta Sanadanaha. My Amsha is this Jiva which is living in this materialistic world or the world of men or this samsara or this manifested creation. What lives as the Jiva is my Amsha, Bhagavan Krishna is telling, and it is Sanatana, eternal. Because when the Amsha of Bhagavan means it will have all the qualities of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is eternal, Brahman is eternal. So this Jiva, which is the Amsha of Bhagavan, should also be eternal. And it is by this word, the different philosophies itself are formed. The Amsha. The Amsha of Bhagavan is not different from Bhagavan or not separate from Bhagavan. This is the idea of the concept of the Tattva of the Advaita philosophies. When in this materialistic world, when we say as Amsha means a part or a portion. When we say it as Amsha, then what it means is that it is separate from the main thing. For example, if I say an Amsha of the cake, a portion of a cake means we cut a piece of that cake and take it separate from the whole big piece. So what we know about Amsha is separating it from the main thing. As I said, it is in this, many philosophies differ. What Advaita philosophy say is different from what the other philosophies say. The other philosophies say that this Amsha means just like the fire and the spark. The spark came from the fire only, but it is different. And some philosophies say that Bhagavan is different and Jiva is different. But what Advaita philosophy vehemently establishes the concept is, there is Adi Shankara's Advaita philosophy, what it says is, Amsha means it is not different or separate from Bhagavan. It has all the qualities of Bhagavan. For example, when we see the waves on the ocean, the waves are the Amsha of the ocean. So if you want to test the water in the ocean, if we take some sample of water from the waves, it is enough for testing the ocean. When I see my shadow on the ground, that shadow is the Amsha of me. It is not different from me, but it is a different appearance of me. Sometimes when we adjust the light like that, then we can see many shadows around us. Does that mean each one, for each shadow, I am different? No. My shadow falls on the ground on the different ways. This is one example. Another example, which very commonly is said in the Vedanta or Advaita philosophy, is when we keep many pots of water and the sunlight, it reflects on this water. So we can see many sun on the pots. The many suns depend upon the number of pots we keep on the ground. So that is different. The amsha of the sun falls on the water in the pot. So just like that, the reflection of Brahman, or we can say it is Bhagavan or Atma, that is said as the amsha in the Advaita philosophy. Mama Indriyani Prakritisthani Kashati. And this Amsha of Bhagavan, what does it do? It attracts or draws to it the five senses along with the mind as the sixth. So the five senses are the sense to see, the hearing sense, smell, taste, and feeling, spatial feeling. So these are the five senses, and along with it, the mind. So the Amsha of Bhagavan draws to itself the five senses along with the mind. And that is the Jiva. Actually, the Amsha of Bhagavan is the Jiva, but the Jiva means that Amsha of Bhagavan will not be separate. The Amsha of Bhagavan always draws to it the mind and the five senses. The Amsha of Bhagavan will not be separate, or it cannot exist separate. For example, when we keep a pot of water and the sunlight reflects on it, then if we pour down the water, then there will be no reflection. What will happen to the reflection? It will go back to the sun. But you can change the pot. You can change the pot. You can pour the water from one shape of vessel to another shape of vessel. Then the water will change its shape according to that, to accommodate to the shape of the vessel, but the reflection will be there. So what happens is that Amsha of Bhagavan, which we can say as the reflection of Brahman, it cannot exist separate. It draws to it the mind and the senses. So that is the Jiva, and so the Amsha of Bhagavan is the Jiva. So the Jiva also should be eternal, because Bhagavan is eternal. So the Jiva is also eternal. So the nature of the Jiva is very clearly explained in this shloka. शरीरय्यतवाप्नोति यच्चाभ्युत्क्रामदीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि भाषयात्. So in this shloka, Bhagavan Sri Krishna explains about the transmigration of that soul, or the transmigration of Jiva. So the Jiva is the Amsha of Bhagavan along with the mind and the five senses. So that is the Jiva. Mind here means the three minds, that is the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind, or the superconscious mind. So all this, that combination is said as the Jiva. And what happens is, this Jiva, which is the Amsha of Bhagavan, along with the impressions in the mind and the senses, yet it takes a Sharira and performs the karma according to the impressions in the mind. It performs the karma using this Sharira, because the mind alone cannot do any work or any karma or any action in this materialistic world. In this materialistic world, everything has to be gross. The subtle mind cannot perform any action. So it needs a Sharira to perform the action and exhaust its karmas, or you can say to exhaust its impressions. So that much is the use of this Sharira. The Jiva, along with the mind and the senses, it forms a Sharira to perform action. So when a particular set of karmas or particular set of actions are over, and when the mind feels that this Sharira is not compatible to do another set of impressions or another set of karmas, then it will discard this Sharira, and this Amsha of Bhagavan, that we can say is this Lord, along with this mind and the senses, it will discard this body and go away from this body and forms another body, takes another body at some other different place. So this is the transmigration of the soul. So here, actually the jnanis, that's why the jnanis, they just don't give too much of importance for this Sharira. Or at the same time, they won't neglect it also, because without this Sharira, the mind cannot perform any action. So the mind needs this Sharira for how long? Till it exhausts its impression. So this Sharira is considered by the mind and the Amsha of Lord as only as a use and throwaway object. For example, we drink a cup of coffee. To hold that coffee, the cup is important. So when we drink that coffee, the coffee is over. So what we do, either we throw away that cup if it is a disposable cup, or we will keep it away. That's all. We do not care about that cup, but that for that coffee is important. But to drink that coffee, this cup is needed. So just like that, the mind, along with the senses, powered by Bhagavan, Amsha of Bhagavan, it performs a particular set of karmas, and after the karmas are over, Bhagavan, he discards this body and go to another place to take another body. So this is explained with a very good example. Vayur gandhani vasayat. Just like how the wind carries the scent or the grandha or the perfume or the scent from the flower. So here the sharira is compared with the flower, and the gandha, that is the scent, is compared with our mind and senses, and the vayu, the wind, which is the carrier, is compared with the amsha of Bhagavan. So this is the transmigration of the jiva, or the transmigration of the soul, or the transmigration of the individual soul. So it is in this way the jiva takes a body, performs some karma, and discard it, go to another place. That's why the jnanis, they don't ignore the body, as well as don't give too much respect for the body also, because they need this sharira to exhaust their prarabdha karmas. And once when their prarabdha karmas are over, they no more need this body. They just, because that jiva is important. We are the amsha of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is telling, the amsha of me is said as the jiva in this loka. So I am the amsha of Bhagavan. And the matter, that is the mind and the senses, they are the prakriti. They do not have any intelligence. They are inert. Because the amsha of Bhagavan is dwelling in the mind and the senses. The mind and the senses are intelligent, or it becomes intelligent, or it becomes active, or otherwise, even though this subtle mind with which we do all the karmas, it is inert. Since the amsha of Bhagavan dwells in the mind and the senses, the mind and senses are active, and they are performing karmas, and without the Lord, the amsha of Bhagavan, all these are not possible. So I am the amsha of Bhagavan in Prakriti, and this body or the sharira, we use it to perform our karma. So that is very well explained in this shloka, shloka 8 of this chapter, the transmigration of soul. And in the next shloka, Bhagavan tells about the five senses. Shrotram chakshusparshan cha rasanam granameva cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishayanubhasevate. Shrotram, that is a hearing, and the ear that hears. Chakshuhu, that is the eyes, that is the power of the sight. And the sparshan, the feeling of touch, or the organ of touch, that is the skin. Rasanan, that is the organ of the taste, the tongue. Granam, granam means the smell, the smell, organ of smell, nostrils. So all these are presided over by the amsha of Bhava. And not only that, mana, mind also is presided, or it is ruled over by the amsha of Bhagavan. And in that way, amsha of Bhagavan, that is this jiva, enjoys this sense objects, or enjoys this external world. So through the five senses and the mind, the amsha of Bhagavan, which we can say as the reflection of Bhagavan, it enjoys this samsara, or it enjoys this world of objects or the sense objects. So without the mind and the senses, the Amsha of Bhagavan cannot experience it. And that's why this Jiva feels that I am the Karta. Because through this mind and senses, it is enjoying the world and doing karma. It feels that I am the Karta. At the same time, it feels I am the Bhokta also. I am the enjoyer also. So by this way, the Amsha of Bhagavan, through the senses and the mind, it goes to the external world. The next shloka, Utkramantam sthitam vabi bhunjanam vagunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. This is not possible for a mudha. Vimudha, nanu pashyandi, a vimudha, that is a person who is completely deluded, always who concentrates on the external world. He doesn't understand this. What doesn't he understand? He doesn't understand the jiva that is departing, utkramantam, that is the jiva leaving this body. He doesn't understand. What many people think is when the jiva leaves, discards this body and leaves the body, that is the end of the jiva, they think. They just do not understand that it is only shedding off its outer layer. It is just discarding this sharira which it has used till now. So they do not realize it, and that's the whole thing of the suffering of the jiva. So Vimudha, a person who is completely deluded, he doesn't understand the jiva departing from this body, sharira, or stitam, or staying here. That is, the Bhagavan is staying in us. The Amsha of Bhagavan is staying in us, and that Amsha is no way different from Bhagavan. Just like the waves and the ocean, are they different? It is only a different form. Just like my shadow and myself, my shadow is only a different appearance of myself, or the reflection of the sunlight on the pot of water. So they do not understand the concept of jiva. The people who are deluded, who always concentrate on the materialistic world, they do not understand I am staying there or leaving there, or I am enjoying this external objects united with the guna, gunanvidham, and enjoying this external world or the sense objects along with the gunas, because this gunas fuel our mind. This gunas exist in the mind and it will fuel our desires and passion. So they do not understand any of this. Vimudha, nanupashyanti, they do not, anupashyanti, they do not see. Then who see? Pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. One who see with the jnana, eyes of knowledge, one who see with knowledge, he see this jiva dwelling in the body, this Lord dwelling in the body, performing different karmas along with the gunas and the mind impressions. And he will also understand, that is the jnani understands the how this jiva discards this body or departs from this body. So only a person who has jnana can understand it, and no one else can understand this. Yatanto yoginaschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatantopyakritanpanah nainam pashyanta chetasaha. A yogi who is striving for perfection or striving to attain jnana, he can behold or he can see the amsha of Bhagavan dwelling in his self. That is the amsha of Bhagavan dwelling in him. He can understand it. But because he is a jnani, he is a yogi, and has practiced his mind to be very pure and sharp, so he can understand the Vamsha of Bhagavan dwelling in him, but not the people who are akritatmana. Akritatmana means, akritatman means one who is not pure or refined, unrefined. We can say who is not pure in mind. He do not understand it, and also not the person who is achetasaha. Chetasa means intelligent. Achetasaha means who is not intelligent. So a person, Bhagavan is repeating the same word only, vimudha. A person who is not intelligent and who has not purified his mind, he do not understand this concept, but a yogi who is striving to attain moksha, he can very well understand Bhagavan dwelling in his self. यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् यत् आदित्यगतं तेजः, that is the light of Aditya, that is the light of the one residing in the sun. Not the sun, the light of the one that is residing in the sun, that is the energy and the light of that manifestation of Bhagavan, which is called sun. Or in the normal terms, we can say the light of the sun, as well as the which that light of the sun, it shines this entire world. Jagat bhasayate akhilam. It shines this entire world, that light of the sun. Yet chandramasi, the same way the light and the power of the moon. Yet chagna, and the same way the agni, the fire, the tejas of the fire. That tejo vidhi mamakam. It is I am shining through them. Know all that as me, Arjuna, Bhagavan is telling. What all? The light and power of the sun and the light of the moon, as well as the tejas, the light, heat and energy of the Agni. So all this, know it, Arjuna, it is me. I am shining, or I am illumining the sun, illumining the moon and giving energy for the fire. And in the next shloka, shloka 13, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Gama च bhutani धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधि सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः. Gam means the earth. Avishya means entering or permitting. Or entering in the earth, I, as the light of the sun, I nourish or support all the beings. Bhutani, sarva bhutani, all the beings. I give energy for all the beings. That is what Bhagavan says here is, as the light of the sun, I enter this earth and nourishes or supports all the beings on the earth. Pushnani chaushadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmakaha. And I, as the moonlight, I nourish all the herbs, aushadi, all the herbs in the night. Because we say that in the moonlight, the herbs will grow very well. So as the moonlight, I nourishes the plants. So in the daytime, as the light of the sun, I support all the beings by giving them light and energy. And as the moonlight, I shine in the night and nourishes all the herbs and the plants. And in the next shloka, shloka 14, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samatyuktah Pacham Yannam Chadurvidham. And in this shloka, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is telling about the Agni. as Vaishwanara Agni, he stays in our body and digests our food. So only by that Vaishwanara Agni, our food gets digested. And it gives heat and energy for our entire body. We must have noticed that when the Jiva leaves this body will become cold. So it is because of the Vaishwanara Agni which is dwelling in us, Bhagavan, in the Rupa of Vaishwanara Agni, he resides in us, and that Agni is blowed by prana and apana vayu. Prana, apana, samayuktaha. So it is residing in our body along with this prana. So the Vaishwanara Agni, along with this prana, it gives strength, energy, and heat for this body, and it digests all kinds of food. Here Bhagavan tells us the 4 types of food. The 4 types of food, according to the Puranas, what any being intakes is. First is the Bhaksham. Bhaksham means anything solid. For example, we eat a bowl of rice, that is Bhaksham. Roti, Bhaksham. So these are solid food by which we chew and eat, that is Bhaksham. Then next is Bhojyam. Bhojyam means we drink. We drink water or fruit juices. That is Bhojyam. The third is the Lehyam. What we intake by licking. Sometimes in some South Indian foods, we say that pachdi. Pachdi we cannot take otherwise. We have to lick it, take it in our fingers and lick it. So that type of food also we intake. And the fourth is the chausyam. Chausyam means that food which we have to swallow. Sometimes some medicines we swallow. Some food also we just swallow like that. So all these are the 4 types of food. Bhakshyam, Bhojyam, Lehyam and Chosyam. So these 4 types of food are digested by the Vaishwanara Agni. So now I take a break and continue with the rest of the shlokas of this chapter in my next upload. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishnah Yatra Partho Dhanurdarah Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.